Mascha Maron. Oh, sorry. Wrong fake language. Hi! Shora! This is Veronica, aka V, aka Blade on the Discord and other places. I am the primary developer of the Unwritten role-playing game, and welcome to our Tuesday Unwritten Walkthroughs, where I play Myst games and I talk about how I can use those to as inspiration for the Unwritten role-playing game and other Myst and role-playing game topics. If you are in the chat, this is my sound check, so please let me know if you can hear me. Everything looks like it should be going through, so, you know, who knows? I'll double check the Twitch stream myself. Twitch streaming is such an amazing, I'll double check. The precise art, as you can tell. It's always lots of fiddling. I'm always sort of amazed by people who can, make it look professional. Because it's just such a fiddly thing. So, as promised, we will be starting Exile, Myst 3 Exile. I don't know how fast we'll go through this. Depends how, probably how much I get distracted. Myst 3 is, of course, the first of the Myst games not actually created by Cyan. It's created by Presto Studios, which is no longer around. But while Cyan was working on early things for what would become Uru, so-called like Dirt, Denny in real time, and that sort of thing. While Cyan was putting their efforts in that direction, Presto Studios put together this particular game. A few Mysteriums ago, we had some. There was a focus on Myst Exile, and they showed and a number of the developers from the late great Presto Studios was there to discuss the development. So I mean, that was fun. So if you want to see that, you can go back to the Myst, the Mysterium archives and look at those videos. Still haven't heard anybody mention anything in the chat, so hopefully they think they can hear me. Bueller? My little thing says sound is going through, but who knows for certain. Anyways, here we are, Myst Exile. Exile is actually my favorite of the Myst games proper. The ones that actually Myst, Riven, Exile, Revelation, End of Ages. And I know that Riven is sort of the magnum opus of Cyan, and I mean, I would generally agree with that, but I enjoyed Exile a lot more, honestly, than I did Riven. Just because it was, I don't know, it vibed really well with me. It makes some conceits that I particularly enjoy, and we'll get to those. So, let's get started. We were gonna start up a new game here. Come on, there we go. Obligatory logo montage.
I realized as our group linked back to Dunny that we should not restore the city as we had planned. The once magnificent buildings lay in ruin, testament to the hatred that had consumed them. Too many people had fallen victim to that hate, to the prejudice and greed from which it sprang.
Again, Mr. Random.
Gazing out across the cavern, I decided to write another age. One that would help the Dunny survivors begin again, free from the tragedies of their past. So with my wife, Catherine, supporting me, I put aside that past to write a future. More than a year has gone by since I finished writing Relishon. I have a new daughter, who I hope will someday link to that age with me. And as I imagine Yisha meeting the Dunny, those brave men and women who are building a new life for themselves, I realize I've been given another chance as well. A chance to learn from my mistakes and leave the past behind me once and for all.
Here. And here we see the vista that is Tamana.
Breathtaking, isn't it?
Oh yeah, forgot. Guess I should look around. Oh yeah.
We call it Tamana. We moved here after Atreus finished writing Relishon. He wanted us to have a new home too. I'm so glad to see you. I told Atreus our paths would cross again. He was just going to grab something for your trip to Relishon, so he shouldn't be terribly long. Unless he decides to check over the whole house first, which means he could be hours resetting all his padlocks. But I know he was looking forward to introducing you to the Dunny, so he shouldn't be terribly long. Why don't you wait in his study?
So here we have, Catherine, a little bit older now, different actress, and the young baby Yisha, which is, always fun as well. Interesting, some interesting details here. Tamana is in fact a Dani word. It means home, derived from the Dani word toman, which is place, which is sort of divided up between to, which is sort of a place signifier, and man, which is sort of an existence signifier. So, if you wanted to get deep into a little bit of, linguistic nerdery, there you go. Okie doke. Also, an interesting thing here is that, with Exile, we have a new, in Exile, we have, a new navigation system. We have these, it's still node-based, but all the nodes are kind of 360 all the way around. So you can be in a place and you can, look around back and forth and that sort of thing. And you can look up and down. But if you actually want to move, you'll have to move to the next node. See there? And, you get that. And still, of course, we've got the full motion
This trip
video.
is exactly what Atreus needs right now. I haven't been able to get him out of the house for months, ever since he found his journals out of place. But seeing how well the Dunny have settled in on Relishon should help him to finally relax.
Relishon, of course, is a new word for the whole. And I think when we get to, we'll see some more details on that. Also note that Catherine is mispronouncing the name Denis. Technically speaking, I mispronounce it as well. Okay, so you can't get in here.
I'm sorry, the other door.
Oh, you have to go to the other door. Okay. Okay, so let's go over here. And we come into and we come and take a look in here. Interesting enough, a lot of people don't realize this. This is the Riven book. And you can see, Riven has fallen apart. It's been a completely, unviable age. What that exactly means, in the cosmology of the Deniverse, we don't know, but it definitely has. And so, you know, the linking panel is just all just chaos. I don't know, maybe he keeps it there for reference, or just to remind himself of you know the Denis um, uh, pride and that sort of thing. Um, so actually, that before I get a little further into the game, that brings me up to another thing that Myst Exile is sort of where the different threads of Denis narrative start to come together. Um, we've seen we've played Myst and we've played Riven, um, but here this reference Myst Exile references things that happen in the novels. The novels, of course, are the Book of Tiana, which is chronologically the first, which has about the fall of Denis before Atris is born. Involves young baby Gen, etc. Um, and then we've got the Book of um, Atris, which also happens before the games. Atris grows up, encounters his father Gen. Chaos ensues. They trap Gen in Riven, and then there is a long period of time where Atris and Catherine and Tiana live in Myst. The brothers are born. They grow up brats, um, partially because Tiana dies, um, and Catherine blames herself and becomes sort of isolated, and Atris hides himself in his explorations of the art instead of parenting. Thus, the birth of the meme that is, Myst games are about Atris's bad parenting. But this is after the events of, um, and then there's the Myst, and then Riven, which follows immediately after Myst, and then there's a bit of a break, and then there's the Book of Denis, the novel, which goes to Tyranny, and where we meet Marim and that sort of thing. And then when the Atris collects the Denis together, and takes and decides that they need to rebuild Denis. That brings us to Myst 3. And that's why we have these references to the Denis and talking and such. Tommen, thank you for responding so quickly to my request for Nara padlocks. As you know, security in Taman has become an important issue of late. Perhaps I am overreacting, as Catherine suggests, but the idea that someone may have been sneaking into my study, reading all of my journals, disturbs me. Not that, anyone has ever sneaked into one of Atris's libraries and read all the stuff before. That never happens. After what happened to my library in Myst, after my sons, Cirrus and Actor, destroyed so many of my books, I've come to realize how delicate the link is to my worlds. I've never been able to repair those burned books, to link to each age and find out if the inhabitants survived. The padlocks won't change that situation, but they'll ease my fear of trespassers. Sincerely, Atris. So, once again, and this is of course, catching the player up, um, and sort of also foreshadowing the whole issue with the brothers in this particular play. Just a moment. Just hydrating. Also, another fun fact. This font is Atris's handwriting. This font also appears in the Unwritten book. So, Atris's handwriting appears in Unwritten. And we can see Cirrus and Atris there. Reminder of kind of what they look like. Atris still remembers them. More cool things. That's Catherine and Nisha, of course. Random sciencey looking thing. Random things on the walls, that sort of thing like that. Now, of course, in a In a role-playing game, in an unwritten game, you would probably just kind of, rattle off. There's cool-looking sciencey things on the desk and the walls, and you might point out, there's, this book here, uh, and then, there's a letter on the desk, um, and then you probably would also point out the tapestries, because the tapestries, in the game, the tapestries and depictions are very important for the narrative, so it might be also a good motif for a role-playing game to have, these tapestries around that tell a story. I mean, we saw that in Riven with the little, the bits in the temple room with the beetles, the little beetle viewer things. But this in really is a sort of an ongoing motif in Exile, and so um, you know you can use a similar sort of motif in a role-playing game. Eventually, your players will come to expect it, so they'll be like, "Okay, we're in a new place. Are there any tapestries? You know, and you can kind of use that for exposition dump sort of things. You can also use it to subvert. Once people come to expect it, you stop giving it to them, or give them a tapestry that's burnt, thus implying something's being hidden, that sort of thing. So here, this one is, I think, I'm actually not sure of this one. It is Atris and such, and I think this is meeting the people, maybe Averone? I don't know. I'm not sure which one that is, honestly. My Disney nerd cred is falling right now because I couldn't recognize that one. But this is, them, rediscovering the cavern, which happens, in Le Book of Denis. This is the point where, um, Myst really becomes a sort of multimedia property, where, it's not just, let's, there's some, story things. It's just that they're all connected. Here's to Relishon, and I forget what the Denis says here. And I'm sure at some point, someone like, one of the other Denis linguists out there will come and rattle it off. But off the top of my head, I forget what it says, and so I'm not gonna worry about it for the moment.
Well, my friend, I see you found the Relishon book. Catherine tells me you've been here for some time. I'm sorry if I've kept you waiting. Since we'll be gone a few days, I needed to secure some of my things. And I also wanted to bring you this. It's a journal I kept while I was writing Relishon. I thought you might find it interesting to read about what I'd hoped to achieve, compared to what the age truly is. Well, just let me get my keys to unlock Relishon, and we'll be off. Oh, and I'm interested in hearing what you've been up to in recent months.
No, Wormtongue, no!
No! No! Relishon!
Okay, so obviously I am the stranger, and Relishon has been taken, and here's a leaking book with dramatic music in the background. So that means, oh, see, I didn't even get a chance to click on it. I didn't actually click that. The game just pulled me through. So, it's just like, okay, you're going this way no matter what. It's a game that does that. Um, for an unwritten campaign, you can, never just assume the players are going to go through. If you could always suggest. Okay, here we go. Let's follow him. Hello, Landris, Thomas. There. Oh, by the way, hi, Junie. I didn't say hi before, but and hello to my lovely wife, Ellery, who's on here too. Okie doke. So we're here in Janan. And for some reason, sometimes get, the wrong pronunciation, the ages in my head. Anyways, okay, but here we are. So, but and as I was saying, in terms of a role-playing idea, you can't. It's rare that you can just say, and you go through, and just kind of force the hand. Um, you can, however, do it from a meta perspective, saying, hey, I don't have any other things that's going to go any other direction here, really. So why don't we just fast forward to everybody going through, and then we'll move on. Um, you know, Sometimes, that's just fine. And the players will go, yeah, sure, well, let's get on with it. Sometimes the players will go, wait, I want to do X. Um, and that's fine. That's the moment where you start improvising. Um, and some people are good at improvising, some people are not so good. Um, and if it's just the sort of things you're just like, no, I don't want to do that or whatever. I mean, as a GM, be honest, just like, no, I was really kind of focusing on this. Let's go ahead and work on that. If you have to, you have to. That's fine. Okie doke. So we go around here. We look around. Once again, Exile's a beautiful game. This will take us around. We've got, our little twirly lights here. And you can look in one side and see out that way. That side is, you don't see anything. And that side, you can see that there's something through there. This is your hint, of course. These things, like, oh, these things point at each other. Also, since there are only 3 lenses, and one of them you can't see through at all, that's your other hint. These are probably things that you would, just tell players. You're like, okay, well, you've got there's these, sort of, telescope sort of thing, posts, and they've got these lenses. There's 3 lenses set up in like a kind of a triangle. So there's 3 lenses, and it's set up so that it kind of rotates. One of the lenses you can't actually see through for some reason. But when you look through the other one, you can see out, when you look at one through the one of the ones, you see out the other one, and vice versa. When I've watched people play Exile, I've seen a lot of people get confused about what's actually going on there. It's like, oh wait, I can't look through that. Why can't I look through that? Is it broken? I need to fix it. But this is just one of those places in a role-playing game where you just give the answer. Here we have our first symbol, which is the symbol for Amateria, if I remember correctly. But then you can go over here. Down over here, you can see that there is a ladder. And then down here is another ladder to this little mechanical doohickey here. But, so, and this is, of course, one of the first real puzzles that people often run into. So let's go ahead and get that done over there. In terms of puzzles that are in a game that are puzzles, like things that players have to figure out, I think a number of the puzzles in Exile are really good examples of that. They're relatively simple, in the sense that, there's not, a sort of, you have to, um, there's not a, you have to be reading the mind of the game designer in order to understand them. This one only has a few moving parts. wrong way. So it happens when I'm not paying attention. But yeah, there's only a few moving parts. And let's see here. This one. There we go. And it's a relatively intuitive thing to figure out what you're trying to do. Um, that's sometimes really important because in a role-playing game, you're describing imagery. You are not. Oh, I forgot about that. Bloody hell. You're describing imagery. So, I mean, there's a lot of visual clues that a video game can give. Visual clues, audio clues, that sort of thing. Um, that, once again, pictures 1,000 words. It can tell you all sorts of things. But when you're a GM describing the situation, you know, it's sometimes very hard to get those ideas across without stating them explicitly. Okey-doke. We go in here, and there's a big hole. And then there's things over there. I want to obvious, a very obvious, look, there is something I want to do, and there's something stopping me. I think it's not, a huge leap to, figure out, oh, okay, I need to fill the hole. But do 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 do. Zero. Zero. Fine. Another thing I like about that particular one is, not only is it, a relatively simple one to, a relatively simple one to figure out, but it gives a player, a really good, look, I solved something right off the bat. As there's that sort of, one of the things that people have complained about Riven is that, the things that you do, you don't get much feedback on them. I turned on the steam over here, and then two islands over that turned on something over there. But this one, is very simple. It's like, look, I did something, I accomplished something, I reached a goal. Of course, there's this thing which is an entirely different, beastie. But at least you've done something. You've progressed. Okay. Um, Here's Jananin, and of course Jananin is, Jananin. I'm gonna get that wrong every time. I apologize. But we've got one that, of course, it's big tusks. That's the sort of thing that kind of makes it stand out. When you're trying to come up with a cool age, and you may not have a particular like specific use for the age, take some sort of visual idea or attribute, and just kind of start with that. It's like, well, it's an island, it's got these big tusk things on them, you know, and then you can go from there. And it's like, well, okay, no, they're just tusks. They look big, they're rocks, they look like tusks. Or, maybe this is actually set on on the skull of a great old beast. Let your creativity guide you on that. But it's really kind of good to start off with, here's something weird about it. The Age of Sallow in the Strange Seeds game, which is the age that the characters are supposed to be exploring for the maintainers. The basic idea that I started with it was, okay, I want a big age. You know, and I had the idea of there being just, like long plains. And it's like, well, they need something to make it kind of break it up. And so that sudden sort of like circular tight-knit forest just kind of popping over it seemed to create an interesting contrast. Uh-huh. This one, of course, is the key to this puzzle, is realizing that you need to get the light going. And that to do that, you have to keep turning this. A lot of people I've seen play it don't. They'll turn it a couple times and go, nothing happened. But if you gotta turn it all the way, then you turn the light on. Yeah, we're talking about Laundress's blue overcoat in the chat, in the Strange Seas game, which Laundress said, is uh, inspired by Atrus's yellow Exile raincoat. Um, and yeah, I think it's Laundress. I mean, how Laundress visually I think has a very Atrus vibe to him, which I think is intentional, but I think it works out really well. Okay, so we get to here. This little light thing here that's pointing out there is often um, missed by players, but of course, but it's pretty critical. Um, Also, the fact that there's this one over here that's broken. This is, obvious. This is, of course, a red herring. Um, but a lot of people struggle with that particular red herring. The look, yeah, Junie, the Laundress's look is very Atrus-like. His, demeanor, not so Atrus-like, but, you know, you take what, you can get. Uh, am I doing this wrong? I might be doing this wrong. Ah, my eyes. Ah. I really do like that little detail, though, that, as you turn it and it goes through, they actually do blind you. Uh-huh. Yeah, Atrus is the only, we don't have a lot of examples of Denis, like, Denis, clothing and style and that sort of thing, and aesthetics. So yeah, we kind of go back to Atrus no matter what we do. Um, okay. This is something I like. I just like to point out. Just that this has some that Exile has some accessibility features that are at least there. Myst is a hard game to sometimes make accessible, but where there are specific sounds that are important, if you mouse over the thing causing the sound, it'll give you the subtitles will give you little things like, oh, there's a whistling rock. Alright, well, let's stay at that. Okay, I remember now. Round and around, around, under. Let's see here. Go over there. I think I'm looking at something backwards here. I'm misremembering something. The green one, I thought. I went the other way there. Okay. That should go. It's the purple. Yeah. Blah, blah, blah. This is one of those moments where the people who have this little better memorized than me are just like, no, no, go. So, unfortunately, since I'm driving, you're stuck with me. So while I'm futzing with these lights, you know, feel free to call out interesting things in the chat or questions or whatever, and I will try to engage interestingly with the interesting things. That's what, streamers do is they do engagement. They influence. I'm an influencer now. Totally. That's totally what I am. Do, 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 do. Oh. There we go. So, Laundress, you're saying that the D's, on the other hand, you have lots of ideas about the appearances of those. That'd be cool. Let me know what you think. What your ideas are there. Okay, is this going the right way? Huh? That should be good. There we go. Okay. Over to there. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. There we go. And I should have been writing this all down, shouldn't I? Okay. Well, let's go through it here again. Here. Do, 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 do. Okay. Yellow. That goes over to the green on the other side, if I remember correctly. Oh, blue. The blue goes to the green, if I remember correctly. Oh, wait, no. Derp, derp, derp. Oh. Hopefully, once again, you have a tolerance for me getting lost. Blue, then, yeah, that one goes over to the green over there. And then that comes around the circle the other direction. Got the green, yeah, probably, but let me double check. Because of course, I would forget something if it became important. How is everyone doing today? How are you? How are you this fine Tuesday? Green to red. Given the times I've played this, I probably should have memorized this sequence, but red to yellow. Where is it? That yellow goes to that, which I think is the purple. Yellow to purple. Purple to the red. Bondra says the 3D printer is chugging along. Laser CNC is running at full speed. I'm slowly getting woozy from CA glue fumes, and the whiteboard's slowly filling again. So in all, good evening. You know, it's like, dude, you're like, your household is like a small scale manufacturing facility. I don't believe that you guys actually like live there. I think you just are using it some sort of um, cover for you know, a rogue pirate makerspace. Of course, if we could pull it off, I'm pretty sure that's what, you know, we would have here as well. So, there you go. Okie doke. Yellow, blue, green, red, yellow, purple, red. Okie doke. Another puzzle down. Using 2 bedrooms out of this technically 6-bedroom house is far cheaper than renting a dedicated space. Oh god, yeah. And we're back here. We've got another one of these thingies. I'm gonna go see if we've got any more video stuff happening when we look at Saavedra through the porthole. I don't remember exactly when some of those happen, so they come in stages and stuff. But do 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 do. He's in there thinking, I really like Tolkien better. Maybe I can get a job in one of these Tolkien movies. Okie doke. Let's see here. I need to go into the middle so I can start looking at the tower and stuff. There's some sort of Easter egg with those videos. Oh god, yeah. I don't remember either, unfortunately. Some guide I am. Okay. Okay, now we go down to the center here, past the Whistling Rock, which is the hint that, oh, sound might be important. We go downstairs. We go in here and open up the cage. Go out the other side if we wanted to. Out here we've got our squee. Hello, Mr. Squee. Hello. Sarai. Sarai. Okay. Okay. This is the little thing, that little details of making that plant there so that you can like run across. That is one of the things I always missed. Squee chirps. See, once again, for accessibility's sake, the chirp is important. You know, thing. The plant bulges up. Okay. So this whole sequence in terms of, how to get up to that, the one door involving the squee chirps and that sort of thing. This is one of those puzzles that doesn't really work as well for a role-playing game because of what it is. It's very much about, specific things in the environment and a very specific interaction. Like you have to also realize, get all that set up and then realize back here that, this is now, you know, a way of, directing sound. That's a very hard situation to set up narratively when you're just describing things to people. It's very, it is a very artificial sort of situation. And once again, it's very hard to explain that. I would more likely, if I had a situation like this, put some details out there, and then have the players come up with an idea and run with it. Put some sort of situation where it's sort of like an improv group thing where quick, give me an animal and give me something the animal might be doing. Okay, and we need to go. Give me a destination. Okay, we need to go up there. Okay, there's your things. Find your solution. That might not be as clever in terms of a GM doing preparation or providing, a specific puzzle for players to do. But it does allow the players to, it gives the players agency. They get the same sort of agency that they might from figuring out one of your ideas to coming up with an idea that you think is cool, and then having that, actually happen. Here, and once again, the Denis, engineering school of let's do something overly complex because we can. I mean, I think that's also an important thing that because that's such a big thing in the games, that there's all these mechanisms that don't quite work directly, and there's all these all these puzzles that you have to figure out because they're puzzles, but also because there's these mechanisms that have been made to do things like that, or instead of just a door opening, it folds into the floor for no particular reason. But those things show up so often in Myst that I think that becomes an important motif for a Myst-like game. That there's sometimes these complex Baroque ways of handling things, and it's an important element of the Denis. The Denis just did that. That was not because not because they were it's a better way to do it, but because as a culture they respected the cleverness of the process to make it, and in that way, their engineering sort of reflected their sensibility, their artistic sensibilities. And once again, for the Denis, the fact that their engineering reflects their artistic sensibilities is another important aspect of who the Denis were. Um, so here, of course, we've got our little hangman, little men thing here, in which people can kind of poke at, but it's trying to get the clue across that, hey, a pivot point, if you move the pivot point of a balance over, you know, you can 2 over here will equal 1 over here. And quick little physics lesson. A physics. And the Cividro book. You notice I haven't actually gone into um, Atris's novel, journal here. I mean, there is a lot of reading here. Um, and I'm not going to go through and read it all. I really like the world building here. Um, so I enjoyed reading it as a player. Um, as a game player, I do like the fact that, there's a lot here that helps you understand. There's a lot here that helps you understand uh, the people behind, Atris was sort of behind everything. And I think they're, besides just, the little, the actual clues in here, um, it gives you a good idea of how everything works and kind of why it works and what Atris is trying to do. So I think it's actually, it's not one of those things that as a player I'd want people to skip, but as, someone streaming, I can definitely see how people would want to go, I don't want to read all this. And now we're going to start getting towards, real spoilers. So just in case, here's your warning. The fact that, we've got some things in here that are specifically called out as, in terms of this bolding. I think it's a good way of, telling the story and yet highlighting, the clue. But still being, somewhat subtle with it. Um, Jananin. Hey. A lot of people miss that there are actually 4 things in here. I think one of the ones is like in a kind of a weird look. If they're at the bottom, people tend to miss one of them. The bold is not always as, you know, catchy as it should be. So a lot of people tend to forget one. Now, Savidro's notes, I think, are more interesting narratively. And partially because they're given to the players in sort of a non sequitur in a non-linear way. So you're kind of this is this sort of you're piecing together who Savidro is, what Savidro's been through, what Savidro's been doing. As a game master, what the sort of non-linear doling out of pieces of information that players need to piece together to get an idea of what's going on, that's what I really shoot for in terms of an experience for the players. Because it is a game, Unwritten is a game about exploration, because Mysts are a game about explorations and figuring things out. That sort of piecemeal reveal gives players the experience of trying to figure out what's going on. Much like you might get from like watching, a TV show like Lost or, God, what are the other ones that have been, big, like, what's going to happen next? WandaVision, There's big secrets around there, and some of the stuff that's happening in What If, and that sort of thing. That sort of where speculation becomes interesting. Um, a video game that I've seen recently that does this really well is Horizon Zero Dawn, which is a game, you know, it's a shooter game, but it has some pretty good story and background and world building. Um, and it really just sort of tosses pieces at you in, not in the right order and with no real context. And you kind of have to figure out the context and you get more and you connect things together. And so the game is as much trying to figure out what happened and, your speculation about it as it is the actual shooting or, combat or figuring the puzzles out and such. So, um, and of course, there's some actual clues in here. Um, those are a little bit of piecemeal as well, but um, I think that the mindset that Savidro kind of displays through his things here are very interesting. Um, okay, through here, we go over here. I think the detail about the fact that Savidro can't, Savidro's memory of his wife has faded to the point where he can't, obviously he's an artist. He's been able to do that, but he can't quite remember her features. That's I think it's a very powerful sort of metaphor. Um, the kind of showing, not telling sort of thing. It's also very sad. But here we come to Savidro's desk of random clues. You'll note that, from this perspective, the balls do not look green or greenish, and yes, they do. But this tells you, look, weight, balance, equivalency. And in tradition of, lots of Myst games, the things that you can play with that do things. That creates electricity, which creates magnetic field, which makes things float. But if you want to swap that, this makes that, this plant go, the pain, the pain. This is another one of those little bits here that a lot of people miss because it's so subtle. And there's not, it's a hint for a couple different puzzles all kind of folded together. Here, we got, here, got more of our balancy stuff. 1 ball of that equals 4 of that. Hit here. Come around. And of course, there's the whole thing with this 2-step lever that you kind of have to do sideways so that you can get down there. Come on. There we go. I think this is it. Look at my clues. Oh, I got it all backwards. The one on the left needs to be pulled all the way down. This is one of those puzzles. There's lots of little details. Like if you're not paying attention, if you miss a detail. Puzzles where you have to be paying attention to specific details, like this, are not good narrative puzzles, in my opinion. Once again, the reason is that the players don't have their own agency in the sense that, they're not, when I'm playing here, part of the puzzle is, do I notice things? But on a role-playing game, part of that puzzle is, the GM is being the eyes and ears and hands and everything for the players. So that sort of hearsay doesn't work. It doesn't. That sort of noticing of details and that sort of thing doesn't work as well in a sort of situation where you're essentially playing by hearsay. Okay. Okay. I gotta look this one up. Okay. So that 2 out and 1 in. That the screws are pointing out. That screws are pointing in that one. Get that one. And screws are need to point one more. Hopefully I did that right. Y'all are quiet today. Not much chat. But we got a couple of people here. Some names I haven't seen before. You know, so all you new people over there, feel free to say hello. Post comments in chat. I will respond. At least I will try to. And otherwise, I'll just natter on. So, I mean, I'm gonna keep talking and nattering on no matter what happens. But this way you would at least get a chance to direct it to something that you might find more interesting. Really, who designed machines like this? I mean, Atreus's engineering ability is sort of connected to some sort of like weird acid trip he had as a kid or something. Why do we need 2 levers? Why did I? Yeah, anyways, but. Oh, it needs to switch around. I'll have just a grate for flooring so you can see where you see all the depth, all the area you could fall down, and maybe a little bit of a more excitable mood than usual. Okie doke. And here we got, once again, we see, we know that something has happened. We actually ended up, I managed to skip a couple of the steps here where Cividro, puts the, we come up and you see that he puts the paper on, which, causes the thing to come down. So I managed to, in this walkthrough, I managed to skip a bunch of the hints about how that operates. Because I was, used to going through it. And once again, my incredible, wonderful wife has come by with food. Pad Thai. So, I mean, I would be totally cool with it being a tradition. Tuesday Pad Thai day, and I get one of my favorite meals every Tuesday. So, I mean, if we want to do that, I'm totally cool with it. I'll have to take my bookmaking class. Yes. Oh, it's a good thing. And my lovely wife has reminded me that she is going to be teaching a bookmaking class, a mini bookmaking class, on, was it November 5th? What time? Afternoon Pacific time, November 5th, virtual sort of thing. So, yeah, Pad Thai Tuesday instead of Taco Tuesday, yeah. But so yeah, if you are a crafty sort of person, and you like doing, or you want to become a crafty sort of person, you know, you can stop by, stop in on her, on her little Twitch stream or whatever it is going to be, um, and you can learn a couple things. Um, I'm always amazed by how crafty. I mean, fandoms in general are, but especially how incredibly talented and crafty we've got, in the Myst fandom. I mean, there's Thomas slash Laundress, who in and of himself is an entire sector of the crafts, arts and crafts industry. My own, incredible, brilliant wife, who, you know, does pretty much a little bit of every craft that's ever been created in the history of time. And I know it because she's got, you know, stuff to, she's got the materials for all of them. Um, people who make, costumes, um, like Moiti Jean and Riven Chan and Parker and oh god, Tanith. Why did I have trouble with Tanith? The cosplay. Um, Parker's an incredible woodworker. Um, I mean, there's so many cool things. We got magicians. So yeah, do cool, crafty stuff, and Ellery will help you. I think her site is ellerymakesstuff.com. This is where she puts out stuff that she just kind of like say, hey, come watch me make stuff, or I will come teach me, and come here and I will teach you. Okay, extraneous lever. Oh, thank you very much, Ellery, for putting that in the chat. Oh, there we go. This operates like a airlock. Yeah, thus ends this, the shameless self-promotion, as Ellery puts in chat. Um, well, okay. This whole thing is kind of shameless self-promotion. So, thus in that particular shameless self-promotion. Okay, buttons to turn on all the things. First several playthroughs, I did not realize that those lights are color-coded.
My sons,
No,
I promise to teach you the secrets of my ages. This world is the first step on your journey. Search the island, and you'll find 3 linking books. Each connects to an age in which you must fulfill.
Hello, Atris. Been a long time. Sorry I'm not there to greet you in person, but I just didn't think it would be wise, considering how long I've been stuck here. Trapped in these lesson ages by 2 very greedy little boys.
Yep.
Your sons, Atris.
Dun, dun, dun.
Cirrus and Achenar. Of course, they're not so little anymore, not so innocent. I thought a lot about innocence these last few years and what happens when it gets lost. Worried about relation? I have it. Worried about friends, relatives, people you can't get back. I know just how you feel. But if you want to do something about it, you're going to have to open this device. And there's just one problem. I've changed the 3 symbols that do that. So if you want to reclaim relation, you're going to have to take your own class. Find the 3 symbols, Atris. And don't keep me waiting forever.
So, there's our cutscene. First thing to notice is that it's I've got a recording and we're going to interrupt with another recording, which is the same thing that happens in Abduction in a couple places. Just kind of a cool technique. But what I really want to point out here is the conceit that I really like about Exile, which is we've played a lot of puzzle games where suddenly there's a puzzle for no good reason. Or even, even on cyan games, which are generally pretty good with it, it's just like there are situations like, who designs things like this? This makes no sense. Um, or just the random sort of like, this would work in some sort of sense, but part of it's broken, and now you have to, figure a way around it. But this, in Exile, the puzzles are there because they're supposed to be there. Atris wrote this age and the adjacent ages specifically as a training ground. It's these puzzles exist intentionally, um, and as ways to so there's they it's not just oh my gosh things seem to the tree fell this way on the thing you're running into all these things which are intentionally there, um, and for some reason that makes me feel much better. Um, it makes me feel much smoother about the narrative. I have a pretty high tolerance, I mean a pretty high ability to suspend belief. I'm not a sort of person who tends to pick things apart and go, well, that doesn't make sense. But this particular conceit is clever, maybe even a little bit too clever, but it's clever, self-aware, and that just makes me happy. So, and the fact that then we have Savidro, who is then using that same process to now while you have to go through it, it's not just to get to the end, but making Atris go through it is Savidra is doing it to taunt Atris. So once again, the situations you're going through, even some of the more improbable ones are intentional. Like I said, I don't know. I mean, that's not necessarily good writing or something like that, but it's just something that makes me happy. Okay, doke. Now we gotta get this all set up. The fact that you can drag this picture, to move it around, is a huge thing that I think, and people miss it, of course, all the time. Um, even on, like when I'm watching people do playthroughs and stuff like that, where they're like, no backseating. This is one of the places where I offer to give a clue, even when people say they don't want any clues. Um, because it does completely, it does, moving forward on the game completely dependent on figuring that little thing out. Um, and it's not a puzzle, it's just a UI issue. They could have had, little, buttons like they do on um, the little on the little periscope things in Teledon, or they could have, had sliders, but no, it's just you have to drag. Okay, now I should pay more attention to what I'm doing. I need to zoom out a little bit. That's the wrong way. I mean, I think that the hey, you know, not only do you have to line these things up and such, but that the specific ways that everything lines up becomes the pattern for the next, for the next puzzle. I think that's really clever. I like that. Um, and once again, I like the fact that it's supposed to be clever because it's, narratively, it's a puzzle. You're supposed to be figuring it out. Um, Another old video game that did that really well was there was an adventure game that was based off Rendezvous with Rama. This the Arthur Arthur Clarke classic. And the video game's called Rama. It was an old came out um, probably it came out before this. I know it did. So probably several years before this. Um, but there's a bunch of, very, explicit, figure this out to move, to get to this part of the area. And, you know, you kind of eventually you realize like no, you're being tested. Um, and, that once again makes me happy. Okay. I keep fussing with this. Come on. I probably had it back a little bit and then fucked with it more. That looks pretty close. I'm actually gonna take a screenshot of that. Um, Come on. Screenshot program, where are you? So that I have that as a reference later on. Excuse me while I do things off screen that you cannot see. I promise I'm not doing anything nefarious or, okay. Let's keep that there. I think that goes to Donna. Is that Adana? Or is that, yeah, it's Adana. I know, yeah, okay, never mind. I don't remember. Okie doke. Okie doke. Now to the next one. Huh? Let's pull this out. There we go. A bit smaller. A little zoom out there. That looks pretty solid there. Let's focus. That's pretty close right there. Okay. And we'll go to that. Copy that. Okay. And I think this is the other one. Yeah. And we can move just a bit. And just a bit more. That's pretty close there too. So let's copy that. Anybody got any questions or memories of this particular game that you really enjoyed? Parts of the game that you really like? Go ahead and drop those in chat and we can talk about them. Okey-doke. I think we'll be able to get one of the ages done today. I'll probably start with, let's see here. I don't know which one I'll start with there. Of these ages, of the ages here, my favorite's Materia. I think it's just the most fun. It's got the best payoff. See, that one takes me to Voltaic. Yeah, I'm gonna try Materia, which means I'll have to go around. Install material. Do 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 do. Maybe going this backwards, but yeah. Remember, that's one of the important themes of this particular stream is that I get lost easily. So remember that this is on brand and on theme, and you were warned. Do, 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 do. Yeah, I'm going to the ground direction. Hi. I thought I went up there. Go past here. Yeah, there we go. Oh, I've got to put the code in again. This is something I wouldn't design it this way. I think that's kind of a pain. It's like, I gotta put the code in again. Don't think you should have to make people, go through the hard part over and over again. I mean, not that this is particularly hard, but I know at least in one play of this game previously, I'd, I'd put my notes on that away somewhere already. When I had to refigure, like, okay, I have to go back and write down all the colors again. Okay, do 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 do. Okay, bring up my thing. Let's see, that should be over. Come here. Should be over there-ish. This one needs to be over here. Let's be there. And I think that's what needs. I think that's it. Did I not get that right? Or maybe I'm not actually the material. Uh, oh no, amateur is the one. Amateur is the one. Ball. One with the ball. Okay. Yay, watching people figure things out as it goes. Too early. Do do do. I'm pretty sure we can get through materia pretty quickly. We want to go down the hole. Okie doke. Let's try this again. Oh, do 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 do. Just wrong again. Oh, there we go. Yay! I did a thing. Okay, and off to materia. want to know why, Myst games all have these rocks that are really these like basalt column rocks? Is because that's what the rocks are out in eastern Washington. There's a lot of basalt. Um, so me having grown up in Southern California when I would look at these and go, why are the, everything, I mean, I like hexagons. I'm, I'm the sort of nerd that has a favorite polygon, and there are hexagons. Hexagons are bestigons. But, you know, just like, why is there always rocks like that? And then, when I, traveled from Seattle to Spokane, for Mysterium, I looked out the window as we were driving and was like, oh, that's why. Because that's what basalt looks like. You know, we do our outside thing here. We go around the outside. Hey, and we get to our little thing here. There. Okay. If I remember correctly, yeah, so the key, of course, here is to figure out how much this ball weighs and then, counterbalance it, because when the little thing creates the magic ball here, knocks that way, and you don't want to go across and not shatter. So we've got to match the weight ratio. And let's see here. Since we can see the ball, we can only see a certain part of it. We've got to get a different point of view. Okay, we get some Savidro stuff here. Also, once again, thoughts, questions, ideas, topics you want to talk about, drop them in the chat. Okay, we can see over here that, most of it's the wood, and we know that from the other angle that this bottom hemisphere is all wood. We know that this octant is wood. We know this octant is the heavy stone. So there's 2 octants there that we don't know about. I'm trying to remember how we get there. Another way around. This way, I forget. Let's see. There's a way around here where. I don't think it's this way, but I'm gonna go into here. We open the door. And then we have our little thing. The bottom is all wood. So we got, 1 to 4 and 1 to 4. So if the wood is 1, that's 4 of those, and there's 4 of those over there, and then that 4 quadrants, that's if we say that's 1, and that's 4, and that's 16. This weighs 4 already, and we'll always at least 4. And over there we know there's a 4, a 5, and another 4, it's a 9. Is that, I mean, you can never really tell if that's crystal, it's supposed to be actually crystal or not. And I forget where the other angle is here. Still almost kind of up one of the chutes, if I remember correctly, up one of the tracks. There's that. Been there. This is me not remembering. Something I like here is, you know, you can see, you know, obviously the elements of the world, you know, like, you know, the crystals have been mined out of here and that sort of thing. And that's sort of a, you know, I always just thought that was kind of a cool, you know, little bit, you know, once again showing Atris working with everything that he's got. There's that puzzle. We'll come back to that later. Go back down. Yes, once again, the motif of the murals. And seeing, you know, Savidro here trying to prevent, you know, the civil war that the, you know, the brothers are spurring on. You know, Savidro has been, of course, you know, tagging, you know, adding little things to the, you know, the ages to, you know, teach, you know, Atris things as well as trying to sort of taunt him by making him go through his, you know, his own stuff. It was over there. I'm forgetting something where it was. Can't remember. Okay, well, let's keep a look around here. I remember having, of course, we had to set the ratio. To the far left like that. So we're going to want that to be twice as heavy as what it as the ball. So when the ball is 9 already, so it'd be 18 at the very least. But yeah, we actually don't want. We're gonna want to go for double it. So see 9, that's 18. We're gonna need at least one of the 16s. I'm never actually sure exactly what material this is. When I first looked at it, it looked like some sort of really sort of like hardwood or something like that. But now it looks more metalish. But I guess it doesn't really matter a huge amount. Okay, so 16, that's gonna be 20. 16, 20, which is still more. If it's there, we're gonna need, we're gonna need one. Oh, there. I think that's it. A lot of people, you know, seem to always feel like, you know, okay, I have to have make the entire sphere whole for the counterweight, and if I remember correctly, you don't actually have to. You're just trying to hit a specific weight ratio. Okay, up we go. Let's see if I got this right. Let's see if I remembered this all correctly. There we go. Okay, and here it shows you that, oh, that, you know, this pops that one thing up. And it gives you a pattern. And let's screenshot that pattern. There we go. Okay, next puzzle. And let's see here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'll be able to finish this in time. Do 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 do. Did this over here, and we actually ran into the other one over this way. Is it this way? Which way it is? Now, of course, that, you know, been here. Probably won't remember the right way there. It's down here. That goes there, and that goes there. Hey. Where did I put it? So crystals. There we go. This is actually, I think, the hardest puzzle of them all. In this age. Because you're trying to figure out, you know, the relationship between the ball falling and all the things going through and all these shapes here. And I think there's a lot of things going on here. Of course, you know, the ball comes through. When it hits the little blue button, the corresponding light turns off. And then there's all these symbols which look like they're supposed to be something that you're supposed to figure out how to fit them together, but you really don't. They're just sort of signifiers for the different steps. Three, four, five. The light really just kind of tells you which thing points to what. Okay. Let me go through that one more time. Plus, it's just kind of a cool visual. Okay, now to get down there. But it took me a while of, I mean, you don't, until you actually get down there, you don't actually have the entire puzzle here. Now, where's, oh, wait, more future pages. Yep. There's it down. Okay. We go through here. Through the big rib of the thingy. And we go up here, and we go up there. It took me a while to realize that that rock is, you know, a way. And I think that's kind of sometimes the sort of, um, that's one of the tricky things I think. So, sometimes sort of downfall of this of Myst games is how often, um, you know, the game stops because you don't know where to click. You know, like, oh, that's a way to go through. You know, that's a door. So this tells you, of course, that this is sound. It's doing something, and it, you know, the ball destroys itself when going through here. So you need the right pattern. And then you go down here, and the ball goes here. I think it goes this way. Here. Oh, here's the thing on this. And that was, let me look at my screenshots again. That's the wrong screenshots. And that one needs to be up here. Then we go here, the ball goes this way. It goes this way, but I'm not confused. Okay, yes, came out of there. Ball. Isn't this the one we just set? No, no. Okay, where's my screenshot again? Yeah, that's actually already in the right place. Either that, or I just walked through something I had already done, which is certainly possible. Go through here. And I'm confused. Yeah, I've gone in a circle, I think. So, you know, once again. Okay. Let's start. Gonna come down here. Go across. Go through this one. Go through here. It's gonna go up there. It's gonna go through here. And that one, let me look at that. Yeah, it's gotta be really interesting. Oh, I'm muttering to myself. Okay. I feel like I've skipped something. Oh. Okay. Yeah, I feel like I have. Okay. Go there. That's there. It goes to that one. And then. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. There we go. So this one should be here. Uh-huh. This one came up from here, I think. This comes across. Skids across this one. have just gone backwards. Yeah, I did. Ugh. Let's cross here. We go. Then back down. Okay. I'm getting myself very confused. Let's go. We go through this. Yeah. Go through here. And this is the turn I'm having problems with. Go that way? Let's see. Yeah. And then the last. And that is bottom one. There we go. So I think I finally got that. Yay me. Ah. Now I gotta get back to where I was. And we go up here. Go back down there. And we go up here. And down around. Don't ever make your players have to figure things out back and forth like that. Just let them zip to the right place. Okay, let's see if I actually managed to get this right. Yay, I did it! Ah! Only took me getting lost like 3 or 4 times. Okay, and then we get our little, like, oh, looks like it moved a different part of the bridge. And our next pattern. Okay. Okay, now we've got one more puzzle to finish and then put all the patterns into the pattern places. Though I gotta remember. Okay, we go here, we go down, we want to go back to the front, which is like Back to the Future. Or you're like the immortal Yo-Yo Dine motto, the future is tomorrow. Okay, we go up and around. And I guess when you've got node-based, movement, you do your best you can. But that is sort of the the tragic flaw of some of the games is that is how hard to find out how hard it is to find the places you can actually go. Like I said, that may simply just be the nature of the beast. And then the third puzzle. Okie doke. And once again, this is, once again, I say it once again a lot. So we've got our pegs here, which will tell us when to stop. And now we've got, oh, that was the wrong switch. Okie doke. Where is this? Get our ball drop. It goes into that cup there. Goes all the way around because nothing's going to stop it. And it goes just pop. I think which one do we want to go? Let's see here. Okay. Get our pin, and it's gonna turn. It'll be there. 1, 2, oops, 3. See if I got this anywhere to what I thought it was gonna be. No. I got it completely backwards. I love that the fact just how that though that when it fails it just throws it up and it shatters. That's way too fun. Go through that. We want that there. Pop it up. And this goes around and pop. So we put the one there. And I had it a second ago and let's try it. Goes around there. And pop! And I got that backwards. I see what I did now. Okay. That goes there. And then it'll go across around to here. That's going to pop it back over. And let's try that. I'm going to hit escape to move this over. And around, and around, and around. And that goes around there. And that pops us back over to the other one. And that moves us just one over, which pops us through the hole and through. pattern once again. Okay, now we can put all the patterns in and get to the central puzzle. It is almost 8 o'clock, but I'm just going to try to power through to the end of this, so that we can have our ending and end, with a completed age. Okay, go here, and now the tricky thing here is that another one of those UI interface things that I don't have a problem with helping people out with is that you have to wait, you have to step back. Nothing happens immediately. Okay, where's my other thing? There it is. There we go. And, playing with hexagons, which is one of my favorite things. And then my last screenshot. Doot is a technical term for pushing things out. It's the knee term, totally. Okay. I really like how the inside of this looks because, you don't really, when you first come in here, you have no clue what all this stuff does, and it looks totally overwhelming. But once you understand what's there, it all kind of makes sense. Okie doke. And we have a seat in the weird chair here. Let's push the button. Good old Svidro.
What's the matter, Atreus? Can't remember how things work?
No.
Yet you explained this class so well when we first spoke of it in Orion. I want Cirrus and Achenar to learn everything they can, Svidro. First from Amateria, Idana, Voltaic, and finally from Narayan. When my boys come to see your people, I want them to see Narayan's traditions at work so they can see how civilization can balance an age. Do you know what they did when they finally came to us? You never came back. After class was over, you took your boys away and you never came back. Cirrus and Achenar did.
I mean, I like Atreus as a character. I like Atreus. She's a good guy. But yeah, he definitely doesn't, definitely a little oblivious at times. Just not paying attention to everything. Of course, I mean, when you're dealing with worlds and stuff, can you be really, how much attention can you pay? I mean, how many, especially with the art, how many unexpected, things can you expect? I mean, yeah, I mean, how do you truly expect the unexpected? Okay, so we're gonna make the path, and remember we start from blue. So blue goes through there. That's gonna go up. Is that gonna go this way? It's gonna go this way. To yellow. Yellow comes out here. Goes to green. Green goes to thud. Goes through there. And goes to red. And red should be it. So we've gone through that point, I think, yeah. So let me, we go blue. Oh, I screwed it up. Goes to yellow. Yellow goes to green. Green goes to red, and then we are done. And we start with the blue, and here we get, I think, the best payoff of, if I've done it right, the best payoff of the entire Myst series. Yep, there we go. This is the best payoff of any puzzle set of puzzles or age in the entire series. Not only is it kind of a fun ride, but you suddenly get to see how everything clicks together and fits together. Now, if I was a kid and managed to figure this out and then got this, I would be totally like, learning kicks butt. Slide across. Now you see you've set all the internal little tracks. And make it across there. Get a great view as you go across here. Back into the maze. Whoosh. Into the hoppers. Punk. Art directing and sort of the visual directing on this sequence is just terrific. You slide through here, and then you realize, oh wait, these are the things that I saw before, and they all come up, just like the little thing said it would, and you get your symbol. I was kind of wondered how Savidra managed to change that symbol. I mean, that seems, pretty set in stone. Wah, wah, wah. But still, yeah, hey. And I like the fact that here that it actually writes the symbol down for you. So you've got this little piece of paper. Because, I'm sure, I have no problem with, like, writing down answers and notes and stuff. But that is sort of an obscure thing to remember for a long time. And so the fact that the game kind of gives it to you so you don't have to worry about it. And once again, as with your players, understand what's actually the fun parts of what they're going to be doing, and what they think the fun parts are, and don't make them do the slog for no reason. Ta-da! Okay, so it is 8 o'clock, and we've gotten one age done. Yay! And most of Jananan. Um, um, so I think we'll stop there for the evening, and then next week we'll see if we can get through both of the final ages into the end. We may not be able to, depending on how long it takes me to remember all the details. I had a lot of problem with Adana just because I got turned around so often. I mean, you think I got turned around here by Adana? But, so there we go. And let me make sure that I save the game. Cheeria done. Make sure it's still there. Okay, yeah. Okay. Thank you for coming by. Thank you for listening to me. Thanks Junie, Laundress, and my lovely wife Ellery for things in chat. I hope all you lurkers out there had a good time. Maybe learned something. If not, then I hope you were at least somewhat amused. If you do like kind of what I'm doing here with these streams, both this one and the Strange Seed was one, you can see that there is a web address down at the bottom of the screen for the Patreon. The more stuff we get, the more we get, the more we can do. So we have ideas for lots of more things to do. We just need the resources. So if you'd like to see more and see a chance to get more in different things, there's the way to support us. And as always, support Cyan. Cyan is the reason we're here. Cyan is good people. Cyan is good food, however you want to put it. Cyan's a good boy. Yes, he's a good boy. So buy Cyan stuff, buy stuff off the Cyan store. You need another Cyan mug, another Myst mug, you do. So go buy it there. Um, don't forget about the mini the bookbinding class that Ellery will be running on November 5th, I think. Hopefully I remembered that properly. Go to ElleryMakesStuff.com to find out the information there. Um, the next stream will be next week, and the next Strange Seeds session will be November 6th at the usual bat time. So, thank you for once again for showing up. It's nice to see, it's always nice to see new faces, but it's also nice to see the same people show up. So, hopefully I've done something that, entertains you. And definitely, with whatever method you prefer, let me know your thoughts, your ideas. I'd love to hear them. Everybody have a great week, and I'll see you later. Sure.